We're going through the back door.
What did he say?
It's quiet. I got you.
You got me down again.
Friday evening right now. Tired. I don't feel tired. I know my body is physically tired. We've all been kind of getting to this point to get here. We're at Off-Road Expo. When I was, just to go back, because stories are important. I always respect the story more than just the context or whatever's right in front of you substance-wise. So 15 or 16 years old, I'm 37 now, I know, old as fuck. I was going to the Off-Road Expo. I grew up in Laverne. Off-Road Expo has always been in Pomona, except for last year, but it's back in Pomona. And it was something, since I got into off-road trucks and just desert and everything, that I enjoyed going to, an annual thing. One of the most important things to me was seeing the vehicles in like a raw form or under construction, not so much polished, shiny things. And I don't know if that's just me as an individual that likes stuff like that, or if it's something in general where people like to see that. But for me, when I saw that stuff, and I've maybe even talked about this before, but I was able to really understand the process of how things are made, and seeing the heat marks, or even seeing the start stops, or the blending, and just the general craftsmanship and construction of each project. That's stuff that really stood out to me, and not needing to see something again that was just fully buttoned up or completed. That being said, I made it a thing with Joey and just kind of in my mind to have something at the Off-Road Expo and have our own booth, and that's what we have now. I don't know if it's the right or wrong or good or bad thing to get a booth and have things here, but I just felt like now is the time. There's no time like today and right now to be present, and let's turn this way, and to just put our best foot forward with the brand and the projects and the company. And so that's what we got. We got an indoor booth in Hall 4, which is Hall 4 is like the biggest hall and the most popular. You got some foot traffic. What's up? You're always smiling. You always have this positive smile.
I have to, it's positive vibes.
I'll see you tomorrow. So we got a booth in Hall 4. We're gonna bring the exotic, and we're gonna bring Vivian F100. I pressed pretty hard on like having a list of what we want to have done on the exotic, what we want to have done on Vivian. And the other thing with Vivian is we only had 2 weeks in between Sand Sports and now to do stuff. Colin had a loss in his family, so Colin's my main guy, as you know, and you know, the progress wasn't as much as usual, but we still have them here and they're in all their glory. The exotic, same thing. I did as much as I could. I got all the bump stops mounted on the back. We'll go ahead and talk about it, and let's not do it right now. But the other really cool thing is our space. You know, we had like this blessing right now, and I'm gonna go in and show you guys. Now, the blessing is that we are right next to RJ. So we have a pretty sick spot. I kind of went, my crazy brain is always thinking about like, people I very critical about my own stuff more than anything else in life, and so it's like always like even going to sand sports, the same thing. I'm always like, oh my god, are they gonna accept it? The trucks to this and that and this is gonna be okay and this and that, and like going insanely into my head about these things. And so like one of these big steps here with this is just like just go and do it, and that's it. So we've been spending all day. We kind of figured out different arrangements and figuring out what looks best and what way we want to present the trucks. So here we are. Pretty slick. It's so empty right now. We got some more stuff to set up, but you can see like RJ's got his stuff over here, which is cool. He's got the Willies. And then just Exotic and Vivian. Obviously gonna have another table set up, have stuff going on, but this is it. This is kind of what we have here. There's that after hours vibe going on right now. It's all dead in here. It's weird. It's like a calm before the storm. I don't know how many people roll through the Off-Road Expo, but it's just cool. Again, like when I was younger, years and years of just like, the sand sports show was a lot cooler back in the day because there was actually sand rails and like high performance shit instead of just side-by-sides and side-by-sides and side-by-sides and golf carts and side-by-sides and just. So the Off-Road Expo has always held true to like having either race trucks or just a lot more off-road oriented vehicles, not just side-by-sides. So I did notice there's a little bit of influx of that now and a lot more Jeep stuff, but still there's a good off-road presence, like desert presence, racing presence. So Hall 4 is always the prominent hall. It's huge. Know what I'm saying? So this is our corner spot. I mean, obviously got a lot of work done on the Exotic that we can kind of film a separate episode, but some things I had that needed to be done was like finishing all of this lower plate work that was incomplete. All the welding wasn't complete. So getting all that done, I think it was last time we shot the episode on it, it was just root pass, so all final passed. Adding the bump stops, 3-inch bump stops. So these guys are on. Strike pads down on the axle, internally welded because they have some internal gussets in there, but then like the outsides are all just tacked together. So just got what we can done. Like the thing is with this, I cannot rush the way this work is on here and the quality and the craftsmanship in it. So we got to get done what we can. And then we go from there to like try to squeeze stuff in with stuff like projects like this and work. Anything we do, it's the same thing. Like you just can't squeeze it in. So this is kind of how we wanted it to be displayed. I thought it would have the most impact, especially because there's so much good symmetry. Maybe try to come over here. What I've noticed with a lot of builds, it's funny, the one reservoir is there, and you'll notice that there's a lot of exterior attention and like outside detail and like cabin detail, but once you start looking under the trucks, it really falls off as far as the finish work and the detail. So this Exotic is a really good example of like being able to kind of look at it from any angle. Underside, inside, outside, whatever, and being able to get stuff from it and get good design from all the parts and components and packaging on this thing. So it just made sense to kind of showcase it like this, and it just shows all the finish work. Vivian, similar to how we had her at Sand Sports, just showing her with everything we have on her right now. The newest additions, obviously, like we mixed up the door font, which is, I think it's awesome now. It makes sense, like for it to say Morgan Clarke Design on there, it's cool for like a show or two, but really for Eric, like this is his baby, this is his truck. So it only makes sense for him to like have his company and his brand on here and rep that. And I'm still, you know, I still got my win in there, but people know who built this thing. It's not a big deal. Stuff to look at now, obviously, like bedsides in, spare tires configured, lots of structure in there. And then, I mean, one of the big nice details is the tie-in, the exhaust on each side. This is 4-inch exhaust. It goes from 3.5 to 4, and it's just got a really clean shape here that's just super fitting for the truck. And this is like one of my favorite things. Trimming, like obviously that fender trim is really aggressive, but like this morning I finalized that and trimmed all these fenders, and those are like really satisfying detail parts for me that's like towards the end of completing something that really, if you do it just right, it's very satisfying, at least for myself. All right, so that's kind of where we're at right now. I don't have any expectations. It was just, this is something I've wanted for myself, and to be able to really like identify us as a brand and a company, and not being in a booth that's just like for instance, right, Sand Sports KC, we worked with KC with Vivian, and also like because Eric's kind of dialed in with KC, so like the Black Bug went last year, and then the F100 went this year, and that's still like bringing a vehicle to a booth, you know, the same thing like if Baja Designs or King Shocks or something, and you bring your vehicle to that booth, you're really riding the coattails of a sponsor. And I just wanted to be able to feel what we needed to of doing this for us and on our own, and just be able to represent with this with no intention or obligation, just pure to talk to people and show the work. And be of service like this. Day two, or whoa. Day two of being here, day one of the expo actually going on. Just think of probably an overwhelming amount of feedback and people. I didn't have any expectations, so anything is good. The expectation I had was just getting here and getting the trucks here and showing people the trucks. I don't need more business from this. I don't need anything. I just wanted to be able to show our stuff. It's kind of like we spend so much time in the studio or shop or cave or whatever you want to call it, that it's nice to just, and I always do it with you guys, like about bringing the trucks outside. So it's another element, an exercise of just showing people these things and just getting outside feedback or just reactions, and talking to people, and everything's been good. I think the most beneficial thing is the bead rolling for Terra Crew. That reminded, when I was 18, I was pretty, oh boy, that was supposed to be locked. I had a pretty clear head on my shoulders when I was 18. I muddied it years after that, but I was a summer camp counselor in Sandpoint, Idaho in 2003. And I used to walk kids, like 30 kids. I managed a group of kids that were in summer camp, and I managed them, I walked them to the lake and all this stuff. And working with the kids, like bead rolling and feeling out like just their own personal like patterns and ways of acting, and it tied back into that of working with kids before, and I get something from that that's special. So that's the highlight for today. I'm just doing preliminary wipe down right now, I know there's a lot of people touching this thing, and that's what it's here for. But I just want to make sure that overnight the rust doesn't set in. So I don't know, I think we'll probably close this because I got Joey for today. So we'll close out in a minute. Again, came here just to show people the work and show the trucks. I didn't have any expectations. It just was solely to be able to do it and have my own thing and feel that as a company and as a brand. And we had like, it feels overwhelming. I did not anticipate so many people, not only to be following like the YouTube stuff, but also just to come out and see the truck and the reactions, and just all positive stuff, all good stuff, and talking to a bunch of people, and just, you know, Rob, RJ Fab always told me to, like, he's came up and told me before, he goes, just what you need to do is you need to stand back and you just need to like take a breath and relax and just watch people just from 30 feet or something, where you just kind of enjoy reactions and people enjoying the vehicles. And I didn't do as much of that as I probably should, but I did get so much input with the exotic especially. That was very valuable to me and meaningful, and I appreciate all your support, all you guys that I talked to, and everybody else. Just thank you guys for supporting myself and the company and the builds and everything. So I hope you had a good Monday. Go fucking.